It's the weekend, so it's high time for news about your favorite movies and series. This time around, we have yet another Fast and Furious movie, the casting of the leading role in Superman Legacy, and the release dates of the Marvel series Echo and Loki Season 2. In addition, there was the first real teaser for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and news about the next Hellboy. Last but not least, Arnold Schwarzenegger commented on the next Terminator sequel. As you can see, there was a lot going on, so without further ado, let's begin with KinoCheck News. The video game, Five Nights at Freddy's, was released almost 9 years ago and has since produced numerous sequels. Shortly after the launch of the game series, there were discussions about a film adaptation, which has been confirmed several times in recent years, but whose production progressed only slowly. Now, there is finally the first official teaser for the horror film adaptation. After a leak recently went viral showing the first clips of the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's trailer, the horror games fan community proved themselves united and for the most part didn't even watch the unwanted reveal or talk about the scenes shown. As we reported last week, game creator Scott Cawthon expressed his gratitude to the loyal fans on Reddit who can now finally enjoy the first official teaser. A look at the video reveals the prevailing mood of the film, which seems to be very close to the original. The focus is on security guard Mike Schmidt, who gets the task of working the night shift at the popular Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. In the process, he quickly realizes that the animatronics serve a greater purpose than giving kids fun during the day. At night, Freddy Fazbear and his friends become terrifying machines that require a lot of stamina from Mike as he gradually gets to the bottom of their peculiar behavior. A closer look at the teaser reveals a few Easter eggs. Above all, the set and some scenes are a one-to-one replica from the game. Even Freddy himself looks as though he's taken straight from one of the video games, which should delight many fans. The music at the end of the teaser is also familiar, which begs the question of whether the soundtrack might also originate from the game. The starring role of Mike Schmidt will be filled by Future Man actor Josh Hutcherson, as also seen in the teaser. Actress Elizabeth Lail and Mary Stuart Masterson are also involved. The villain and animatronic creator William Afton is played by Bosch and Scream actor Matthew Lillard. Emma Tammy, who has already acquired experience in the genre with the Western horror The Wind, is in charge of directing. The theatrical release for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is scheduled for October 27, 2023, so you can look forward to the long-awaited spooky film right on time for Halloween. Finally, Marvel fans know more, as the release dates for Loki Season 2 and the new Echo series have been announced. At the same time, there are two particularities in the world of MCU shows. The popular Loki series, starring Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson, will be resumed on Disney Plus on October 6th. It is thus the first MCU series ever to be given a second season. In addition to the two stars, Sophia DiMartino will also return as the female form of Loki. Likewise, there is believed to be a role for Ki Hai Kwan, who has recently won an Academy Award for Everything Everywhere All at Once. A return of Jonathan Majors, currently on trial as a variant of Kang, is uncertain. As with the first season, Rick and Morty writer Eric Martin was in charge of the script. This time, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who have already worked on Moon Knight, took over the directing. The Hawkeye spin-off, Echo, tells the story of deaf assassin Maya Lopez, played by Alaqua Cox. Daredevil fans can rejoice as well, as Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox also join the cast as Kingpin and Daredevil. Plus, this is a first for Marvel. All episodes of Echo will be released at the same time on November 29, 2023. With Secret Invasion premiering on June 21st, that will be all the MCU series this year. Ironheart and the WandaVision spin-off Agatha Coven of Chaos have been postponed and are now scheduled for release sometime in 2024. As soon as we know more, you will be informed in our weekly news. I'll be back. Or maybe not. Those who were looking forward to the next Terminator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger need to be strong now. Sadly, Arnie has bad news about the future of his most famous role. No matter how beloved the first Terminator films are to this day, the later sequels have never really been able to keep up with them. Regardless of whether it was Salvation, Genesis, or most recently Dark Fate, the attempts to bring the franchise back to success in theaters were rather frowned upon by fans. After the return of Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor was unable to turn the tide in 2019, and even leading actress Mackenzie Davis did not really believe in another sequel, the Terminator's fate seemed sealed. Arnold Schwarzenegger now gave a clear statement on the matter in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. He also thinks poorly of the later sequels. He was not involved in Part 4 because of his political work, and Parts 5 and 6 had bad scripts. something that was clear to him even beforehand. For him, this chapter is now closed. Quote, "The franchise is not done. I'm done. I got the message loud and clear that the world wants to move on with a different theme when it comes to the Terminator. We're interested to find out whether they will give it another try with the Terminator film and what kind of approach they will take on the project. For those who would rather keep having fun with Arnie, there is plenty to choose from. On May 25th, the action series Fubar will be released on Netflix, as well as the Schwarzenegger documentary Arnold on June 7th. The next action film with him will be the thriller Breakout, which is currently in the works." This week, Fast X, originally the penultimate part of the popular action series, was released in cinemas. After many movies and even more action sequences, many people still can't quite part with the film series. As was reported last week, there is now further news about the future of the franchise in time for the theatrical release, which should please many fans. The reviews for the current Fast and Furious 10 are pretty decent so far. However, the marketing and production budget for the 10th part has also increased by a considerable amount, which is why those in charge will probably have to expect somewhat lower net revenues. Nevertheless, according to many fans, going to the movies was worth it simply because of Jason Momoa's appearance, which is said to be very reminiscent of the Joker. There is also a big surprise at the end of the movie, which we won't go into detail about here. But what's next for the franchise? The world premiere of the film in Rome caused a stir, with Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel, among others, commenting on the future. Diesel stated that Studio Universal has seen the current film and wondered if the story could be told as a trilogy. Diesel's co-star Rodriguez supported the statement by saying that each story has 3 acts, which is also a big hint for Fast and Furious 12. So, if you like action-packed popcorn movies, you can probably look forward to 2 more films from the Fast and Furious franchise in the coming years. We cannot wait to see what happens next. Fans of tough devils with a soft spot for cats can rejoice. Filming for Hellboy the Crooked Man has been completed. After Hellboy and Hellboy 2 with Ron Perlman and 2019's Hellboy reboot with Stranger Things star David Harbour attempted to be big blockbusters, the new movie will rely entirely on the horror elements of the comic original. Comic creator Mike Mignola announced on Instagram the wrapping of filming and expressed his excitement about the footage he's seen so far. He said the film is significantly closer to the comics than the previous adaptations. Anyhow, The Crooked Man is his absolute favorite story about the horned hero. The comic was published in 2008, and the author was also involved in writing the screenplay for the film adaptation. The story is about a small community in the Appalachian Mountains in the 1950s that is haunted by witches. Hellboy has to deal with their leader, who has a dark connection to his own past. Since the reboot Hellboy flopped back in 2019, they are trying the genre approach this time. A small but excellent horror flick, R-rated of course, with a star-studded cast, which doesn't break the bank but can turn a profit more easily. Jack Kessie, who has so far featured in rather smaller movies besides an appearance in Deadpool 2, plays the lead role. The director is Brian Taylor, who among other projects also directed Ghost Rider 2. To date, it is not known when and where Hellboy the Crooked Man will be released. A theatrical distribution is just as likely as a streaming premiere. We are looking forward to the first moving images and will keep you posted. Ever since it became clear that Henry Cavill will no longer play a part in the current DCU and will therefore not return as the Man of Steel, the question of a suitable successor has come up. As we already know, the successor is supposed to play a much younger Superman in the upcoming Superman Legacy. According to The Hollywood Reporter, 4 actors are currently on the shortlist. Netflix star David Corenswet, the still rather unknown Grant Chester actor Tom Brittney, and the also still rather inexperienced Andrew Richardson. The 4th person is Nicholas Hoult, who was last cast in Renfield and The Menu. All 4 are, at least in terms of appearance, already fitting candidates for the role of the young Clark Kent. The fan favorite among the contenders so far, however, seems to be David Corenswet, since he looks most like Henry Cavill and could almost be his younger brother. Hoult, meanwhile, is at the same time being considered for the role of Lex Luthor, so he might be in the film either way. Some even assume that Superman could have to deal with Apex Lex, who is an even more powerful version of the villain. Either way, we can look forward to an exciting new twist with Superman Legacy, especially since DC mastermind James Gunn is not only writing the screenplay, but also directing the film. According to Gunn, the movie is not about an origin story, but rather about the hard balance between Superman's life as an alien from the planet Krypton and his human upbringing, which makes him a part of society on Earth. With more developments to come, we look forward to the theatrical release of Superman Legacy on July 11th, 2025. Have you not had enough of action films? Well, perfect, as we've got a new original episode on our channel about The Expendables 4 that is scheduled for release on September 22nd. Feel free to check it out and let us know what you think. And if you have any other pieces of news that didn't make it into our video, be sure to share them with the community in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.